You can watch 100 T20 games, you can watch 200 T20 games, but you never write a side off. And CSK showed that again. There's going to be some whistle polo night in Chennai tonight. They'll be all on the streets, they'll be screaming, whistling. This was a game that was gone. This was dead and buried. We were all thinking, wow, what's it going to be like for CSK this year? Everybody was saying, are they old? Are they aging? And all of a sudden, Dwayne Bravo turns it on. When was the last time Dwayne Bravo batted like that? We've seen him bowl and turn matches around, but when was the last time he batted like that? 68 of 30. He was hitting sixes for fun on a ground where they always say it's very, very difficult to defend a total. And then what about Kedar Jadhav? You know, when you're a child, you dream of these things, that you're sitting in the pavilion and suddenly your schoolmaster calls you out and says, come save the match for the side. And you go out hobbling on one foot and hit a 4 and a 6. This was absolute schoolboy stuff. And we've got some very interesting theories on what could have happened from Zahir Khan. When as soon as we're done with that graphic, it's winning by a wicket. But who said 2-1?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I would like to say that, this was actually deep, sophisticated analysis and I had some algorithms.
Nonsense.
Pure, utter blind luck. Nobody would. I looked at it and I said, that's an unbelievable result. It is just, it's crazy. It's just unbelievable.
I mean, the game was done. All Imran Tahir did in the last 20 minutes was run up and say congratulations to his partner. He just saw sixes being hit. Would you have done anything different? I mean, 40 from McLennan, 20 of McLennan's over, 20 of Bumrah's over.
I think it was going to be Markande's match. It was Markande's match all along, and now suddenly it's going to be Bravo's match. Bravo turned it around with the ball as well. He was expensive in his first over, then turned it around. Last 3 overs just gave away 11 runs, and it's phenomenal knock. I think he just the batting display what we saw today from Bravo has been missing for the longest time. I think he was becoming more of a bowling all-rounder, wherein he started as a batting all-rounder. But now, it just looking that, he's back, with his batting and stuff. In terms of what bowlers could have done differently, I think, you had the best 2 bowlers bowling in the last 2 overs, 28 required, with Bumrah bowling one over and Mustafizur bowling one over. Yeah. I think it was Mumbai's game all along. You have 2 of the best bowlers of death bowling together. 2 overs, 28, doesn't matter who is batting. I think anyone would have thought that it's going to be Mumbai's game. They could have easily defended, but knowing that Kedar Jadhav is not fully fit, he's got that hamstring issues. The thing which surprised me, I think, that presence of mind from Fizz. He could have opted for fine leg back, third man back, because Kedar Jadhav, we all know that he likes to use the pace of the ball, and that was his option, especially when he was not fully fit. And you see that build up of that over, first 2-3 deliveries, he was looking to do that. He missed one. Probably that was the hint that he was going to use the pace. He could have opted for fine leg back, and things may have been different. Under pressure, it's always hard to think on your toes, especially in this kind of scenario. You're so used to having mid on back, not really on the 30-yard circle in these situations, and that's something which Mustafizur will have a look at it again. He will go back in the same situation and think probably, yeah, I could have done that differently.
Now, I must tell you this, though, that it's very easy to think, you know what, he hit a 6 over there, and here we are sitting in the studio saying this is how it should have been. And yet we were discussing, before the 6 was hit, we were asking Zach here what he would have done with the field. And he said, no, fine leg's got to be back because he's got a hamstring problem. He's going to be looking to nudge third man or fine leg. We were actually discussing that well before that happened. And there it was waiting to be happen. I mean, this is schoolboy stuff, isn't it, Joy? You and I and all of us have dreamt about it. PT sir is calling you up and saying, we need you to win the game, and you turn up on 1 foot and hit a 6 and a 4.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing. And the most important part about it is that everyone finally came to the party. And you see, one great thing about Chennai, especially in their glory years, which was 2010, 11, 12, is that they could play 37 bad overs in a match, win 3 overs, lose 37 overs and win the match.
Albi Mokal, Dhoni, there's so many of these finishers, yeah.
And all the time you look at that match and say, where Chennai is struggling, they're listless in the field, they're not batting well, they're not bowling well. Suddenly you'll see the result they threw. And I believe champions are about teams who win when they play badly. And Chennai, make no mistake, most of them played really badly today. They had a subpar performance and they sneaked through.
It just tells you in T20 cricket, you can have 15 glorious minutes, 20 glorious minutes, and you can win the game. And Mumbai Indians will probably turn around and say, maybe at the end we should have got a little bit more. But you see, when it mattered, which is bowling at the end and batting at the end, they had a world-class player in Dwayne Bravo. But as you said, it's been a long time since he batted like that. But just to remind you, in his last 3 overs earlier, he only conceded 11, and he's come back and hit 68 of 33 sixes of Bumrah. Could Bumrah have done something different? Is Bumrah getting predictable?
I think the way Bumrah is bowling, I never thought that this was going to be the result. You know, it's he's by far the best bowler right now, you know, in the world right now when it comes to death bowling. But today, I think it was Dwayne Bravo's day. You know, he just, like Bumrah had it going, like, you know, he backed himself to bowl those Yorkers. Those Yorkers went for sixes. 2 consecutive sixes, and the pressure was back on him. And at that time, I think the momentum was with Bravo. He had that belief that he could hit big shots. He was already been destructive in the match so far. And it's just the way format goes. I think, you know, you could have done so many things differently, but Mumbai Indian, when they're sitting in the dressing room, they're going to think that, no, we had this game in our pocket, you know, and Chennai Super Kings is going to think that, you know, this game is going to get us through to the playoffs, because this game, even they in the dressing room didn't believe that they're going to win. They just thought that, okay, you know, get as close as possible, think of the net run rate. They're just playing the game. I think, you know, the result no one was really thinking of. Yes, Mumbai Indian probably was thinking that the result is always going to be in their favor.
You know, it's like somebody winning more games at tennis and someone else winning more matches. Yeah. Some guys holding serve on third deuce and some guys holding serve at nil, and eventually the guy who holds serve on deuce wins. But the interesting one here is Jasprit Bumrah. We've got some numbers to suggest that Bumrah's death bowling is maybe coming under question a little bit. His death bowling economy rate since IPL 2013 is 9.9. The average death rate is 9.95. So he's really just around the average.
He's an average death bowler, yeah.
And I just wonder what this will do to his confidence.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is, for most of this match, Mumbai would have been very happy with a lot of things because their young players came through. You know, Makar and Markandeya would be wondering, what did I do? Bravo has just taken away not just the man of the match, the picture also. Maybe my googly would have been on the cover tomorrow. Now it's going to be Bravo's 6, you know. And that's a fact of the matter. But so many of their, you know, young guys came good. Surya Kumar Yadav came good. Kunal Pandya came good. So there's a lot to look
good.
Yeah. Ishan Kishan came good. So a lot to look forward to. I mean, if Mumbai could say this match is good, they'd say, other than these last 3 overs, let's forget about that. The rest of the match, they've had a good outing. They've not looked at a listless side on the field. They've looked, you know, again, Hardik Pandya being injured and still going out there and bowling. And that's an interesting one. You know, I was looking at that. Is it possible for a player to come back the way he looked injured and then come back and bowl like that? And is there a chance to, you know, aggravate the injury?
Well, you can get through a game, you know, even if you have a niggle, and that's something which happened. Like you saw it. Kedar Jadhav as well, like, you know, he did get through the match, but the question is, you know, how bad the injury is, how bad the soreness is the next day. I think, you know, the next 24 hours or 48 hours will actually give the exact picture that how bad the niggle or the injury is. On the whole, I think, you know, the match positives, if you talk about, I think, you know, Mumbai Indian can still look at things and saying that, you know, we still have a lot of positives. Like, you know, personally for me, when I was looking at Mumbai Indian side for this season, I felt that there are some question marks on their spin department. And with Markandeya's performance, I think, you know, their bowling department is looking very solid. They certainly have the team to win matches consistently. On the other hand, CSK, I think, you know, they have a big question mark on Kedar Jadhav now. If hamstrings, usually hamstring injuries are the tricky ones. So, you know, it might take a couple of weeks or
nobody knows that better.
Yeah, nobody. Exactly. I think those
no, but at least
hamstrings are very tricky injuries. And on the whole, I think, you know, the Chennai Super Kings still have got a bit of work to do.
Chennai Super Kings said, look, we actually didn't play that well and won. So what will happen if we play well?
Yeah, absolutely. And my only thing is that the most overworked person there will be their physio today. he and Gregory King will be going mad trying to get this team together and patch their bodies and send them out in the game again.
What about Markande? No, very few people knew anything about him. None of us had seen him bowl before. Only made his debut earlier this year for Punjab. Played only 4 T20 games, got 5 wickets in there. Economy rate of about 7.5. Best figures were 2 for 32 or something like that. Somebody has seen something in him. And I particularly like the ones that got Dhoni, the ones that got Raidu, and the one that should have got Jadhav. Actually, come to think of it, if they'd taken the DRS against Jadhav, we probably wouldn't have had a finish like this.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And Chennai Super Kings fans would be saying we wouldn't have had a bad hamstring.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I was very impressed with Markande. I think the accuracy which he's shown was remarkable, and it's not easy for anyone to just come at such a big stage of IPL. It's such a high pressure zone when you're out there in the middle, when you have a very little experience. You are dealing with all these other factors as well, the crowd pressure, the performance pressure, and when you're bowling to someone like Dhoni, it's actually not easy. This is a big stage, and I think he's shown very good temperament and looks like certainly the find of this season. I think he's got a long way to go, and the spin department of Mumbai Indians is certainly looking better now with someone like Markande.
You're right about the hamstring. We're just hearing that Kedar Jadhav has said he might be out for a month. If he can on one leg hit a 6 and a 4 to win you a game, he's played his part already, hasn't he?
He's played his part already, and
So the other interesting thing is, you pick overseas fast bowlers for a reason, because you don't have too many of those in India. And we've seen today Mark Wood comes and plays his first game, 4 overs 49. McClenaghan comes in, plays after a long time, 4 overs 40, 44, 45 something. So it's the overseas fast bowlers who went for runs, and the Indian bowlers who did a little better today.
No, absolutely, and it's interesting. I mean, that extra pace always is a
double-edged sword, isn't it?
It's always a double-edged sword. I mean, Morne Morkel, so many teams, he's always looks like a wicket taker. But the problem is, one, they feel they can't bowl him at the death, and more importantly, he could go for 30 or 40 because the balls are just flying off their edges, And that's a big thing. A bowler of that pace, plus somebody like Mark Wood wouldn't have seen a lot of these kind of shots, Maybe Owen Morgan plays them. How many players in the world play stuff like that? And he got a lot of that happening to him today.
And also the bounce of Mumbai wicket, I think. The true bounce really helps batters to just time the ball. I think when you have extra pace and the margin of error on this track, as we were talking about earlier, is less. So if you're bowling too short or too up, you can pay the price as a bowler.
Did they score less, you think, 165 Mumbai Indians? I mean, it's easy to say now that they scored less, but they should have won with 165 too.
Not really. I think it was a par score, and they did create that situation, that winning situation, and it was about getting wickets. They did all the things right. I think it just one spectacular innings and they lost the game. They had created the situation, like I said, last 2 overs, 28 to get with 2 of your best bowlers bowling. You can't expect more than that. I think as far as match was concerned, and the way overs were stacked up, the way Rohit approached the game, I think, and the way he led his side, it was spot on. It's just one of those days when you look back and say that wasn't your day.
So the last 2 IPL games have both featured Mumbai Indians. They beat Royal Rising Pune on the last ball, and now they've virtually lost with a ball with just a ball left.
Yeah, correct.
Who writes the IPL scripts?
Yeah, absolutely. It is unbelievable, and I've actually made an analysis of that. Even compared to other countries, the kind of finishes that we've had in the IPL are statistically crazy. I mean, you think about it, and people, they come out and they say that, oh, this has to be fixed, it's too close. And I said, yeah, try and rehearse that. Try and rehearse a batsman getting a hamstring, coming out there, putting out there and hitting it exactly right so it goes over the fielder. Or try and rehearse taking that catch in the bag, in the boundary when you're jumping 1.5 yards.
Joy, you and your logical mind, you're always searching for logic in conspiracy theories.
I just cannot believe it. They said if they were actors like that, they would be the biggest superstars on the planet if they could act out.
Nobody would be paying tax.
Yeah, nobody would be paying tax.
Nobody would be paying tax because Amir Khan would be hitting a 6 of the last ball every time. Exactly. So there we've had an absolutely stunning start to the IPL. 1 game dead and buried. and all over Chennai. As I said today, they'll be out in the streets. They'll be with their whistles on. And this has been the dream comeback to the IPL for Chennai Super Kings. And I think 20 years from now, dad will tell his son or mother will tell their daughter the way the cricket fans are going. You know, this is what Chennai Super Kings are about. This win is going to go into folklore. Now we've got a double header to follow this one. So we've got a couple of games. The first game, Kings 11 versus Delhi Daredevils. Kings 11 have got the eternal captain in waiting, Ravichandran Ashwin back as captain. I'm waiting to see how that partnership plays out. And then Gautam Gambhir going to Delhi.
Yeah, it's homecoming for Gautam Gambhir, and DD is looking good. I think they've done their homework right. The team is looking good. It's just that good start they need for the tournament. I think that will go a long way. Kings 11 once again is looking for that spot in the playoffs, so they'll be a beat. Ashwin, I've got high hopes on because he's been a thinking bowler. Will be experimenting a bit as well. So looking forward to his captaincy skills as well.
I'm actually before that looking forward to the wedding because we have witnessing one of the most expensive weddings.
Logic is.
I must tell you, while everybody was going through this close finish with Bravo and Jadhav, Joy is sitting out calculating the cost of the Finch wedding.
Yes.
You might as well tell us. The background is that Finch for Kings 11 and Maxwell for Delhi are going to miss the game. Now, Joy, all yours.
A couple of matches each. So you look, one guy has gone for 9.2 crores, one guy has gone for 9 crores, one guy's gone for 6.2 crores. Take 1/7 of that, or even 1/8 of that. 1/7 of that is actually the correct figure. And it's more than 2 crores. These guys are giving away 2 crores for the pleasure of marrying at this time. And this is not a marriage that you've run away tonight and you have to do it. Obviously, this is planned. I cannot believe that they're walking away from that much money. And that's just, that breaks. I know I come from Delhi and they have big Punjabi weddings, but this has to be it, This is the most grand gesture. If there's a best man, Glenn Maxwell boss, asli dost hai, all those ads you sune, yaar dost hai, that is yaar dost. Somebody who walks away from night.
Who would have thought that in a preview to Kings 11 versus Delhi Daredevils, somebody is sitting and calculating the cost of a wedding and the cost of the best man
the best man. Wedding. How good is the best man? Already, Glenn Maxwell for me is the best man here. But the other thing is I'm just wondering about Chris Gale in Punjab. And that will be really interesting because if Finch is not around and they decide to play him, and he gets a couple of big ones and, 11,000 odd T20 runs, he could do it.
If you're not in the 11, do you get the entire amount or will Finch's wedding get more expensive?
It could get more expensive. It could get, because yes, it is certain. Your IPL fees are also dependent on how much you play.
A lot of number crunching.
Sitting next to you is only just got married,
I know. I'm just wondering whether you should be a romantic after all that.
What was the next one?
Finch and Maxwell both have spent enough time in India to know how to go about weddings, how to spend money in weddings.
IPL has been good for their personal finances anyway.
But which Indian cricketer would ever get married during the IPL? Tell me that. We are sensible here. We don't do stupid things like that. We don't walk away from money like that. But jokes aside, even you look at this Punjab team, the other thing would be interesting is Delhi, because I believe that Gautam Gambhir actually has captained Delhi. He was the last year's captain. It was a very interesting one. They were 7-4 in 2010. They lost 3 games in a row. 4 teams ended up at 7-7 and they just didn't qualify. And that was a time I think Delhi wanted to do a reset and he moved. And it's very interesting. If they had won any of those games and Delhi had qualified, I'm sure Gautam Gambhir would have remained as captain in 2011 and this whole KKR saga would have not happened. And now he's gone back. He's 7 years in KKR. He's done brilliantly for them. He's gone back to Delhi. So it's something I'll watch with a great deal of interest.
KKR are playing as well.
Yeah, KKR is playing as well. And the good news is we have 11 fit players. So
the good news is that you're still saying we.
Yeah, I was about to point that out. I think, yeah.
No, Kolkata has 11. Kolkata is a city. It's called the city of joy. So
yes,
I can say we.
Kolkata Knight Riders versus Royal Challengers Bengaluru. Is it going to be the year for RCB? They start favourites on paper, don't they, against KKR? I mean, to be fair, if KKR's first 11 they fire, anything can happen. But RCB just look rounder this year, don't they?
when I was watching that auction, the first day was a little tough one for them, but the second day, Washington Sundar's bye just changed the balance of the team. I think they batting has always been their strength. I think with Washington Sundar coming in now and providing that first 2 or 3 overs in the power play is going to change the scenario for RCB, and they're certainly looking one of the sides to watch out for this IPL for playoffs.
It's a good time to remind you of a little piece of trivia. The last time KKR played RCB at the Eden Gardens, it was, what, 49 all out?
Over 49.
And guess what RCB did? Guess what RCB did? They said, okay, you do that to us, we'll just buy all your bowlers.
Yeah,
they just bought all four.
Yes.
Nathan Coulter-Nile, Chris Wokes, Umesh Yadav, Colin de Grandhomme.
Yeah, not only did they buy them, then KKR thought, hell, we'll go and buy Stark back, and Stark got injured. So that's where the script sort
I'm
of...
telling you, Stark is the runaway bride of the IPL.
Yeah, Abhi, this time he'll do it, no? This time he'll do it.
No, he won't.
He will never
No,
do
he
it.
won't.
He won't.
So KKR or RCB? Come on, Joy, say RCB. You say RCB, KKR was RCB, RCB will win. That promo is going to go out everywhere.
I have to get onto a flight and go to Kolkata in a few days. I'm not sure if I can take this. No, to be honest, RCB do look the better team.
Yeah.
But there's one thing. If Chris Lynn fires, if Andre Russell fire, there are two really explosive players, and they could make a huge difference. And it's the other man that everyone is looking forward to seeing. And lots of reports have come in, is Shubman Gill. They're saying he's somebody who can bat at 3, and I've been speaking to the KKR guys, especially people like Adrian and all who come from South Africa and watch these guys.
Yeah, we had Simon Dool yesterday, and he said, for all your talk of Prithvi Shaw, Shubman Gill is a much better player. So let's see. We've seen Markande already make a dream debut. We've seen Ishan Kishan come and do well today. Might be Shubman Gill. Are you going RCB or are you going KKR?
I think RCB.
And are you going Kings or are you going Delhi?
Delhi.
I think Delhi. Also, I believe Delhi is a tough team.
Has to be. Gautam Gambhir is Delhi. You have to go Gautam Gambhir.
No, but I've always, he's been saying that CSK has got senior citizens, the team is looking sluggish and all that. And then he goes that CSK is going to win. The same thing, he's saying RCB is going to win, but KKR is good. He praised KKR.
So, they're giving Joy a hard time.
I'm just loving the balance you're creating.
No, but look, I'm just really grateful to, especially to Kedar Yadav, to making sure that my prediction was right. He did it only for me. There was no other reason to hit that last 6.
Okay, we got just one other thing before we finish. We had introduced you to the Joy factor right at the start, where Joy said he's making a simple, just moving the pawn up one step, giving you a very simple question to start off. Who has the maximum appearances in opening games of the IPL? Now, Joy, I was asked this question on WhatsApp just to test myself out. I gave one answer and I was told it's correct. My other one was wrong. Okay. But I mean, most people would go and say, okay, who won the IPL the previous year? He's probably going to play the first game. So I thought Rohit Sharma was the correct answer because Deccan Chargers won here. But that's not necessarily the correct way of doing it, right?
It is actually, if you look at it, because see, you're likely to play more matches if you do that. So it is, Rohit Sharma is definitely one. He's, including today, played 6, 1 for the Deccan Chargers and 5 for Mumbai. And of course, he hasn't had a great, he's lost almost all of them, if I remember right. And the other one which is interesting is Harbhajan Singh, because Harbhajan Singh has done now 1 for Chennai, but 5 for Mumbai. So, I mean, both of them have played 6, and that's a correct answer. Harbhajan Singh and our friend Rohit Sharma. The only thing is, this was too easy a question, but it's just, soft, full toss on the off stump.
Just remember, one of the things in the Joy Factor quizzes is that largely they will be ungoogleable. So you know what, just forget, just try and go back to how quizzes used to be when you said, do I know, do I not know, let me use my intuition. So there you are. That's what it, apparently a lot of people got it right.
Yeah, easy one. Just, this is like
He was right about that. It was an easy one.
Throwdowns. But no, the amount of crazy fans in this country, I have absolutely... I know people who remember your ball-by-ball commentary for particular stretches of the World Cup.
Why?
Amazing. No, they just do.
And they have a life.
No, this is their life. Cricket is their life. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, there you are. It's been a wonderful start to the IPL, and dare we remind you, the Chennai Super Kings won a game that was gone. Zach said it was in Mumbai Indians' pocket. It was probably in a vault somewhere. The game was gone. and all of a sudden Dwayne Bravo scores 68 of 30, and it's Whistle Podu. It's Whistle Podu. So there you are. That was it today. Do join us tomorrow.